but it kind of just, yeah, I know, right? It kind of followed me throughout the years. I was a very fortunate kid. Like you, you're fortunate kids because you're here today. But I was fortunate because my parents were involved in music. My auntie and grandmother started the first black drum and bugle corps in Detroit, Michigan. They were called the Detroit Thunderbirds. Long time ago. It started way back in 1940 something, even before I was born. Well, I was fortunate enough to being born in the family. I thought all kids played drums because my mother was a drum major, my auntie, she threw up a flag, and we would go and travel throughout the summer times and go watch other drum and bugle corps. Like my family, we would travel, man, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes just driving one way in order to get to competitions and watch competitions, different drums and horns and flags. So I was one of those kids that just grew up just thinking all kids play music, right? So I didn't realize how fortunate I was until I got older, when I got like to middle school and high school, and I decided that I wanted to be in the marching band and things like that. And then upon doing so, they were like, oh, this kid can really play. Look at this kid. Wow. So I was kind of one of those special kids that could really play because I spent a lot of time practicing. I would go home and I would practice for hours. I mean, like, I wouldn't watch TV, or if I did watch TV, I would have my drumsticks and my little pad. Well, I didn't have a pad. We were poor when I grew up. So I made drums. Like, anybody remember telephone books? Do y'all know what a telephone book is?
Yes.
All right, they do still make telephone books. All right, cool. So when I was a kid, I would play on telephone books. Like, so what I did was I had one telephone book and I would put it in front of my mirror so I could see myself play. And just decline that, right? So I could see myself play. And so therefore, I was like, okay, cool. So one day, I hit another telephone book and I realized that, hey, this one has a different sound than this one. So I got all the telephone books in the house and put them in front of my dresser. And I made me a drum set, right? Homemade drum set out of telephone books. And I would be playing in front of the mirror. I had music going on in the background. And it was so crazy. I would be sweating. I would be in there for hours. And my mother would come in and look at, she would bring her friends and be like, look at my son. And I'd be in there with the music going and I'm practicing. And so that's how I got good, practicing. And so because of that, I was able to travel around the world and play with different people because I had spent so much time as a youth, like you are, practicing. So when I got older, I was just talented, all right? And so people recognized my talent. And I started traveling. I started traveling around the United States, playing and competing. And anybody see, well, I won the World Championship drum snare drum competition when I was 19 years old in Dallas, Texas, which I was very fortunate to do that. And then I went on and started playing. I did anybody see Drumline? The movie Drumline? Okay, well, I was able to teach those kids in the movie Drumline. While I was down there teaching, they were asked to host a movie. And so it was like, cool, I'm here, and now they're asking to come in and host a movie with Nick Cannon and all those people. And so I taught the kids in Drumline. I was the featured snare drummer in Drumline Live, the play. Anybody see the play Drumline? You saw it? All right. Well, I was one of the drummers. I was one of the main characters who would have to go out and perform for people, perform for entertainers, perform for millionaires, and say, hey, we're talented. Would you like to donate some money to help our play continue? And so that's what I did. Anybody see the movie Sparkle with Jordan Sparks and Whitney Houston?
Oh.
All right, well, if you look real close, I got a couple scenes in there too, playing drums, all right? So I've been fortunate not because anything special that I did, other than the fact that I was committed to what I love to do, and that was play drums, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little demonstration for you, show you some of the things that I learned over the years. First, I'm going to play, any drummers in the house? One drummer? A couple drummers. All right, drummers in the house. All right. Some drummers. What I'm going to do for you, I'm going to do a little demonstration, and I'll play a little bit. Just on my snare drum, because this is how I started, on one drum. As a kid, like I shared with you, I didn't have drums. I started on telephone books. That's how I started. So from telephone books to wood, I would beat on the table. My mom said, hey, don't you be on this table. So what I did was I got some 2x4 and I would practice on the 2x4. Did that. I would sit behind my mom in the seat, in the back, and I would just play on the back seat. And I thank God for my mom because she never told me to stop. You know, drums are the loudest instrument in the band, right?
Yes.
Sometimes to your parents, it could be the most annoying instrument in the band. But I was fortunate because they never told me to stop. And because they never told me to stop, I practiced and I practiced and I got better and I practiced and I got better and I practiced. And so my practice paid off. So what I'll do, I'll play a little something for you. Some things that I learned from practicing over the years. Just like I got started on one drum. Now if I drop my stick, please forgive me, because I do a lot of high-risk maneuvers, and when I catch it, everybody loves me, and when I drop it, then you know how it goes. You're not so great anymore. So please be kind to me about that. All right. So my drum is in the house. Anybody know what a rudiment is? You do? Rudiment. Anybody know what a rudiment is? A rudiment is something that you do over and over and over again, continuously. You do rudiments and you don't even know it. For instance, when you wake up in the morning, what do you do? Anybody, one person. What do you do?
Get up, wash your face.
Wash your face,
Brush your teeth.
brush your teeth. You do that every morning?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
The same thing every morning? Over and over and over again? That would be a rudiment. Something you do over and over again. You see where I'm going? All right, so in drums we have rudiments, all right?
Yes.
So one rudiment I'm going to play for you. This one rudiment is called the mama daddy roll. Somebody say mama daddy roll.
Mama, daddy, roll.
Excellent, mama daddy roll. So what we're going to do, we're going to call this hand mama hand. Everybody say this the mama hand.
Mama
And this
hand.
the daddy hand.
Daddy
All right, so
hand.
every time I say mama, I'm going to hit this hand. And every time I say daddy, I'm going to hit this hand, okay?
Uh-huh.
So this is how we're going to do it. So. Pretty simple, right? You're like, oh, I can do that, right? Now what happens when you start practicing over and over and over again for hours at a time, when you're not allowing anything to get in your way, not your cell phone, not the TV because your favorite programs are on, not anything, because you decide to commit yourself to what you love to do. This is what happens when you commit yourself to something. Over time, you get better and better, right? So I'll start again. But something happens as you practice. You get slightly faster. And if you keep practicing, you get faster. And after so many years, you just get really fast.
Mama, daddy.
Mama daddy roll. In real terms, they call it the long roll. Say long roll.
Long roll.
You ever been somewhere, somebody say drum roll, please?
Drum.
Right?
Yes.
Anybody heard that before?
Yes.
Okay. That's the most popular rudiment in drumming.
Drum
It's
roll,
called the long
please.
roll. We call it
A
the
singing
mama daddy.
competition.
Okay? So that's cool. There are tons and tons of other rudiments that you can play, okay? I'll just deal with that one right now. That's the long roll, okay? Now, as I played, I learned how to do tricks too. Anybody like the drummer like the drummer?
Oh, yeah.
That does tricks? You know how they spin their sticks and they do all this kind of stuff? Isn't that cool to go see? When you see it? Like when I go to a concert and I watch the drummer, I'm looking for the drummer to do that. I'm like, the drummer has to twirl the stick. He has to do something because he's the drummer. That's how I just feel. And if the drummer doesn't do that, I'm like, the drummer didn't twirl the stick. I'm disappointed. I want my money back. All right? That's kind of how I feel, all right? So, some of the tricks that I learned over the years in marching band and drum corps and being in live performances, again, they can be high risk. And when you execute it, people go, oh, you're the greatest. And when you drop it, they go, oh, you're not so great, Darby. So, I'm like 80-20. I guess I'm great 80% of the time, and 20% of the time I'm still working on it, all right? Skills, all right? But here's some of the things that I've learned. All right, so in drumline, what you've seen was, you've seen that move, right? That's kind of famous in drumline, right? Or, see him do that? Here's a high risk one. I hope I catch this one. Here's a high risk one. So you might see something where not many places you've seen this one. See, that's 20%. That's 20%. All right, so I'll try it again. There we go. All right.
So cold. I know. I just
When
can't
you're trying to play
door.
and do tricks, right? Because as a drummer, the most important, who knows the most important job as a drummer? Yes. Not to look while drumming? No, you gotta look. You gotta see what's going on. Don't look down while you're drumming? No, you still gotta see. What?
Play.
To play? Yeah, play. What else?
Ooh.
Stay focused. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Be positive.
Be positive. Stay on. That's what I'm looking for. Stay on beat. The purpose of the drums is to keep the beat. Now, you ever go to a party and you're dancing and the DJ messes up and everybody goes, what? They look at the DJ like, what's going on? That's the same thing when you're drumming. If you're drumming and everybody's dancing, they're having a good time, and you get off beat because you're not focusing, you're not paying attention, they'll look at you and go, hey, what's going on? You lost the beat. The drummer is the most important member of the band. And I am not saying that because I am the drummer. But the drummer is the most, the keyboard can play the wrong note, the singer can hit wrong notes all day, all right? The guitar player really doesn't even have to play. But let the drummer mess up. Let the drummer miss a beat. Let the drummer take a mental break. The whole party stops. Nobody said anything about the keyboard playing the wrong notes or the guitar. They pass over that. But when the drummer messes up, the party's over. Oh my God, we need a new drummer. Right? So that's the most important job as a drummer, is to keep the beat. So now it becomes quite difficult, because now you're saying, okay, you want me to entertain the people, do all this stuff, and keep the beat? Yes. You have to do all of that, all right? So I'm going to try to do some of this stuff, all right? Thanks for your faith. I will, in just one second. All right. So this is some of the stuff that I did while I was playing in drumline and all that kind of stuff. Some of the more competitive stuff. So I'm going to try to do some tricks and play at the same time. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. For you, some different patterns, and we're going to try to do all of that and play the drums at the same time. Is that okay?
Yeah! Close your ears, Ray. Close your ears. Are you ready to record the land? Huh? You want to record?
Okay, so tell me what this middle drum is called. Snare drum. You're absolutely right. All right. Who can tell me what these drums are called? Anybody? Toms. These are called the toms. What about this drum right here? Bass drum. What about these? What's this right here? What about this? Cowbell. few things going on over here, right? Here's a nice selfie for you. All right. What kind of music you guys listen to?
Jazz. Yeah.
Rap?
No jazz. No jazz.
Somebody say jazz. I heard somebody say jazz. All right. Now the thing about jazz is pretty cool. Jazz is one of the first genres of music I learned. Somebody say, I shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog. Let me hear you say that.
I shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog,
Good,
shot.
good. That's how you play. That's how I learned how to play jazz. I shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog. We call that swinging, all right? We call it swing. I shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog. All right? I'm gonna try to swing a little bit fast. Like I shot the dog, 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 shot the dog. Is that okay?
Yep.
1, 2, ready? I shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog, shot the dog. Somebody say bossa nova.
Bossa nova.
Bossa nova is kind of smooth kind of beat, you know what I mean? It's kind of it goes like this. Kind of cool, right?
Yes.
Here's another Latin beat that I like to play sometime. I'm going to utilize the cowbell here. I love this cowbell. I play it often, all right? So this is a beat that I like to play. This one here is So notice I get tambourine right here. I put my tambourine here. Because without a tambourine, it sounds like this. And when I set my tambourine right here, it kind of gives tambourine this hi-hat sound. Or you can you guys have been an awesome audience. I'm going to play a little more. I'm going to play a little more something for you. Okay? I'm just going to play freely. Is that okay?
Yes.
I'm just going to play some. I'm going to act like you're not here. Is that okay? I'm going to act like I'm in the basement all by myself and no one's here. All right? So if I zone out and I make ugly faces, don't laugh at me. You promise?
Yes.
All right. guys so much. Again, thank you. Is there any questions about anything? Yes. Record the question.
Am I recording it? Yeah.
Acoustics? Yeah, what do you think? It's a little bouncy a bit. Okay. But it's not bad. And what is and then I try to control the volume as well. What makes for ideal acoustics when you're drumming?
Sorry.
What makes for ideal acoustics? Ideal acoustics, usually with the higher the ceiling, you kind of, it gets, the sound is able to move.
Move,
Travel. When you have lower ceilings,
Is on you was on.
especially if you have nothing to absorb the sound,
Where you gonna put
then it gets bounced.
Devin on it.
bouncing around. That's
Devin
why
on
when you're in
it.
the studio, a lot of times you see cushions
Devin.
or foam against the wall because those types of things actually absorb the sound and it keeps it from bouncing back. So was the brick
Don't
increasing
put
the sound? Yes. Okay, so the sound more
I
intense.
just did.
Yes. Much more intense with the brick. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
How do you use to play the phone book drums?
Say again.
How do you use drums to phone book?
How did I drum with them? I just sat in front of my mirror, man, and I would just go at it. I had my drumsticks, I had my phone book. Drumsticks and a phone book. And I listen to music, whatever music I like to listen to, and I would just play it. Yeah. Question, yes. How do I do my tricks? A lot of practice. Like why kids, like I didn't play a lot of video games. I don't know if you guys play video games or not. I mean, I did play video games, but I didn't consume myself in video games. I consumed myself in this. Because this is what I knew I wanted to play drums. Now, when I was playing drums, I didn't say, when I get older, I'm gonna be a drummer. I just played because I actually love to play drums. I didn't realize that you can actually make a living and travel and go see places until I got older, when people started offering me opportunities like, hey, will you come play for us? We'll pay you some money and to go and to come and play. And I was like, you'll pay me to do what I love to do? Are you serious? I mean, how great is it for someone to come to you, something that you do every day for free, and then somebody will come to you and say, hey, I'll pay you to do that. What would that make you feel like? Like, you'll pay me to do what I would do for free? Are you serious? Right? Isn't that great? Yeah. Because you're already doing it for free, but now they want to pay you to do what you would do for free. I'll take it, right? Any other questions? No?
Nope.
Who do you work in the studio with?
In the studio with, I did some time with Martha Reeves.
God.
A lot of beat talent artists, not a lot of main. Sierra was
Be a
an
beater.
R&B singer.
I wanna be a
like
beater.
In, late 90s. I did
90?
some stuff with her down in Atlanta. But mostly beat artists, not a lot of mainstream. Yes.
Can you tell us some of your favorite drummers?
My favorite drummers? Oh man, it's a long list. Philly Joe Jones is a very popular guy, jazz drummer. Dennis Chang, Buddy Rich. I use his sticks, Buddy Rich sticks. Yeah.
We go modern day. Who do you like current day? As a drummer in studio or like?
Man, there's so many people I actually like, and some of them I don't even know their names, and I know I like them. you just hear people like, who's this new guy? You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know him, and he just sounds great. But again, Dennis Chambers is a very popular. Dave Weckl,
Get down there.
name that I run anywhere to go see him. Peter Erskine, I took a class, master class.
Look
Peter
at
Erskine,
that.
master jazz class. So, any other questions? Yes.
Again? Do not put me in that camera. I just did. Who talking? I forgot.
Drum set. This actually
forgot who was
that's a
talking.
Remo head. The drum set is pearl.
I need to stop looking at that.
I just sold 3 drum sets. At one time I had 6 drum sets at one time.
She's so small.
Anywhere, I mean, you got low end and you got high end.
Your t-shirt was on it. Whose shoes? No face on it, move. No eyelashes. You on it. Ooh, somebody's fat. Oh, that's foul.
It's the wood
That's
and
foul.
the quality of drums is different. It's like in terms of purchasing drums, it's like buying gym shoes. I can get my gym shoes from Kmart, you know, the cheap, cheaper, less expensive kind, or we can go to Somerset Mall. It's the same way for drums. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, listen, I do have some flyers around here somewhere. So if you are interested in lessons,
Bro.
I do have something you can take to your parents.
Me?
Say, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, whoever. There was this cool drummer at some school today, and I'm interested in possibly taking lessons. Can I take lessons? All right, I do have some sheets here, so what I'll do is...
Nobody is. Girl, I mean. Lauren. Joseph, your head was in.
Well, next time we work out something with the flyers, this will be all. That's the goal. Yeah, this will be more.
Destiny.
wasn't born in the video.
So if you would like a sheet, just raise your hand.
Just on her head.
Oh yeah, that was Lauren.
But listen. Please don't take one if you're not going to actually utilize it, or if you already know. Right? I only have
Oops, sorry. Whoa. Oh, thank you.
Take one and pass it around. Take one and pass it around. Take one and pass it around. Again, thank you so much.
I didn't get one.
Hey, can I take a picture with you guys? Is that cool?
Yes.
We work it out.